Barstool Sports. Titus, Brandon Walker. Mostly sports.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this before we go on. I actually don't have a problem with this at all. And I think. Welcome to Mostly Sports, presented by Jägermeister. I'm Mark Titus. Brandon Walker is out today. I don't know. I don't know. At this point, that's just who he is.
You have no source or no.
No, he's just out. He's just out. Yeah, he's out. Ebo's in his place. Today is Friday, April 25th. We are live from Chicago. We are brought to you by Jägermeister, 0 degrees Fahrenheit, 56 botanicals. Wherever you're out, if you're hanging with friends or at the bar, maybe you're doing all the sports stuff or just the mostly sports stuff, call the shots. Cheers with frosty 0 degree Fahrenheit shots of Jägermeister. And remember to check Jägermeister out at Jägermeister.com. Drink responsibly. Jägermeister, the core, 35% alcohol by volume, imported by Mass Jägermeister U.S. White Plains, New York. The NFL draft last night, round 1 in the books. Round 2 starts next week? Tonight.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
Tonight.
In
2 weeks. 2 weeks, we'll do round 2. We're going to have another combine. The NFL will do 1. Here at Barstool, we'll do 4 more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think round 2 will take place. The stories of the NFL draft. Do you want to tell me what the stories were, Ebo, or do you want me to tell you what I think the stories are from the perspective of a man that frankly watched basketball last night?
Okay.
I'll be honest. I mostly just watched basketball.
I would like a basketball fan's
fan's perspective on the NFL draft.
I was
watching both-ish. You know, like I was like the Knicks Pistons game was good, so like I was watching that mostly. But then we talked about it yesterday. The NFL draft feels not. There wasn't a how would you say? Not a lot of juice, not a lot of excitement, not a lot of not a lot of blue chippers. So I knew. On the one hand, you want to watch for the first few picks because those are the players that are going to matter. You know, seemingly the way people are talking about these guys, like Cam Ward might be a guy who matters. Travis Hunter might be a guy who matters. Abdul Carter. After that, how many of these guys are going to matter is the way the experts were talking about these guys. So you want to watch at the top, but at the same time, that seems to be the only part of the draft that everybody knew how it was going to shake out in terms of the order, right? Like the top three, we knew that.
I think McShay was saying for the draft doesn't start till 5.
Yeah, so so I was like trying to figure out at what point do I dive in and dive out and go back to basketball and all that. And so that's I'm just laying the land so you know what I was doing last night, how much of the draft I was consuming. These were, from my perspective, the stories of the draft. Number one story of the draft, and I feel like this is fair, and we hinted at it yesterday, and it wasn't exactly a shock. It seems like it was a shock to ESPN. It seems like it was a shock to Mel Kiper, who was. I wasn't watching every second, but every time I'd flip over, Mel Kiper looked like he was going to die.
He was doing the "She's very beautiful to me" all night. All night.
Shedeur Sanders doesn't go in the first round, which again, if you're paying attention to the way people were talking about, and I don't mean people like you and I and those of us, the talking heads. I mean the people that are like, you know, the GMs and the people that have their sources. The way they were talking about Shedeur Sanders, there was a very strong possibility this was going to happen, that he was not going to go in the first round, and yet it does still feel. I'm trying to figure out where I fall on the I'm trying to figure out where I fall on the surprise ranking because I'm not shocked. And yet there is still a skosh of surprise, maybe. Like a skosh. Because I said it yesterday to Brandon that for how you feel about Dion and the circus that is Boulder, and, you know, he gets his out on Boulder and he gets his jersey retired when – I didn't know this, by the way. No, did you know that literally nobody on the 1990 national champion Colorado football team has their jersey retired?
Did not know that.
Literally nobody that was on
Not one player.
Not one player from that team has their jersey retired. Eric Bieniemy was like second in the Heisman voting, third in the Heisman. He was an All-American, national champion. Jersey doesn't get retired. Shedeur Sanders gets his jersey. For all of that nonsense that is the Sanders family and Colorado football and all that, we went into a college football season where Shedeur Sanders was, I believe he was the favorite to be the number one pick.
Even money.
Even
plus
money
100 to be the number one.
And even
pick.
If the way Vegas says, the way DraftKings says, he was going to be the favorite to be the number one pick. Even if you weren't someone who thought, yeah, he should be the number one pick, you can't deny that going into the season he was in the mix.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. He was one of the candidates going into a college football season to be the number one pick in the NFL draft. In the next college football season he plays in, he throws for 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns. Colorado does not have an elite season. He is not. I understand the flaws and all of that, but he has a good year.
Yeah, the numbers are there.
The numbers are there.
Yeah.
He's preseason favorite to be the number one pick, has a 37 touchdown, 4,000 yard season, and falls out of the first round, which tells me the interview process must have been atrocious. And now I know he has flaws, and I'm not here to say that like when I watch Shedeur Sanders, I see a guy who's a can't miss prospect or anything. But he just must be an all-time bad interviewer.
What do you got to be saying?
All-time bad interviewer.
What are you saying? I'm also he didn't. I don't think he ever tested athletically for anything after. Like we make fun of the long process of the draft, but I don't think he ever tested for. Like he didn't really run with his competitor, like anyone at the draft or at the combine. Didn't really show off his arm strength. Like he's kind of kept it all very close to the vest, and everything we know about Shedeur Sanders during the draft process is behind closed doors.
He's a great example of you can have flaws, you can have off-field red flags, if you want to call them that, like mental makeup or whatever it is, the words that GMs would describe of guys that don't feel like good locker room presence. What was that, Lucas? Are we interrupting whatever you got going over there?
No, you just keep going.
Keep going. You finish. You finish it, Lucas.
What was that? I did.
That's on me. I should have opened that before the show.
Yeah, you could have opened
That's
that
on
before
me.
the show. That
I
was
thought I was
extremely
gonna be able
loud.
to open it quiet.
You can have flaws on the field. You can have flaws off the field. You can't have both. And that seems to be the story of Shedeur Sanders. Because I think that, like, of course there have been draft prospects that have interviewed horribly. Of course there are character concerns with draft prospects through the years. Of course there are all these things. Not every single guy who enters the NFL draft is helping old ladies cross the street and shit like that, which I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if the attack on Shedeur Sanders is like he's a bad person.
No, I think
it is like he's just cocky and like has like an overinflated ego, whatever. But this is nothing new to the NFL draft. But all those guys that still go very high are nearly flawless prospects. Like they have demonstrated how good they are. And Shedeur Sanders, I think if he had. I can't even think of an example. Who's an example of a great fucking locker room guy that
that fell or
no? I'm saying like if
Shedeur
Shedeur Sanders had his talent and he had the talent, but he didn't have the we'll call them distractions.
Yeah.
And he didn't have the what was the one? Was it we don't know who said it. The quote that we were talking about.
The anonymous coach.
The anonymous coach. It was just like this guy.
Did you see that a day later or yesterday? Another anonymous source came out. And he's like, I think it's bullshit that anonymous sources can come out and say that. But he remained anonymous. Very funny.
If he didn't have that and he still put forth what we saw on the field this year, I do think he probably goes first round, maybe. Because I agree with you. He's not a great but like
I think
I don't know how you could like he's not a bad football player, but he's also
like there's tons of guys in the history of the draft who were not bad football players in college. Like if we're really like Graham Harrell was not a bad football player in college, but he didn't really necessarily fit playing a pro style quarterback. Maybe it was because he was carried by a star wide receiver similarly to Shedeur, or it was just the system he was in that really benefited him. I don't think Shedeur Sanders was ever like, if we go all the way back to when he was in high school, he was a 3-star quarterback recruit going to FAU. He was going to go to Florida Atlantic, maybe be a backup. People said he had an offer from Alabama. Was it a real offer, or was it because his dad is Deion Sanders? So you look back, it's like he's not this highly touted prospect, and neither was Cam Ward for that matter. But he wasn't this elite arm talent, super athletic quarterback.
Yeah.
And so he gets 4 years of incredible coaching, and he's like now a finished, polished product. It's like what you get now is probably what you're getting in the NFL.
Right.
Sanders, the arm's not getting any stronger. He's not going to get any faster. That's for sure. I don't think that in today's NFL it makes any sense to take him in the first round. It never.
You don't think if he was saying all the right things, so to speak, that would have mattered.
I think it's.
You think he still would have?
I think his name is Dan Smith from BYU. I don't think he goes in the first round. I legitimately don't. I just don't think that the talent's there. And I think the reason that he was like Mel Kiper and everyone's so shocked is ESPN has this model that basically predicts what's the probability of a player being around based off consensus big boards across. The only reason he was mocked in the first round, I believe, is because people felt obligated to do so. They didn't want like the pushback of being the guy that didn't have Shedeur Sanders mocked in the first round, because then people come at you and it's like, did you not watch the games? He had 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns. And so that's how you end up with a scenario where Mel Kiper's on TV groveling.
Yeah.
Or why did the Ravens take Malachi Starks? They could have. Shedeur Sanders was on the board
Sanders
right there.
Right there. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. I was. I don't know. I'm trying to like
Mel Kiper
process my thoughts on it all, because I don't. I wasn't Mel Kiper, but I do think it was of note and it was interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's my stance on it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I do think it's fair to point out that he's falling. I think the fact that it's not just that it's Deion's son, although you could argue maybe the whole reason he was supposedly going to go number one entering the college football season is because of all of that, all of the other shit around him. But I do think this would be noteworthy no matter who it is, that you go into a season, like I keep saying, like you go into a season, you're thought to be in the mix for number one pick. You put up the numbers he put up, and now it's just like he might not even go second round.
Yeah.
He might not even. He might just completely. I do think that's noteworthy, and maybe that's why the mock drafters put him in the first round is for the television product. So then that way he's sliding. It gives us a slide, because that is to me the story of the first round. I mean, that was. It's not a stunning turn of events, but it is in a draft that frankly doesn't have a lot of intrigue. I don't think that is a noteworthy thing that the guy that I mean, Deion was I saw a lot of the Deion haters are coming out in full force.
Yeah.
A lot of people pulling up tweets of him saying my son's going top 5 or whatever, and then he got community noted on that. Yeah, I think that did become the story of night 1 of the draft. Whether it was shocking or you whether you're Mel Kiper and you're like, this is stunning, I can't believe it, how could you pass on this guy, or you're someone who's a hater that's like, I wouldn't take, like, it's like it seems like you are, Ebo. You're like, if I was a GM, I wouldn't take him with any pick. Doesn't matter the round.
I would take him. I just don't think he's worth a first round pick. I think it would have been incredibly unfair to him as well to go in with the expectations of being a first-round pick because he's not that quality of prospect where there would have been massive expectations on him. Now it's like he can maybe go to a more fairly priced place in the draft, and there won't be this massive burden of, well, we used a first-round pick on him, he has to be awesome. Now he can kind of maybe work into a backup role.
Have a chip
something
on his shoulder.
Yeah, like,
use that to his advantage.
It would have been incredibly unfair for him to him personally in his career to have been a first-round
But does he have the humility to do that would be the question. Does he have the humility to be like if he ends up being a lower pick and he's brought into a team to like obviously not be the starter, like we already have a starter, but we're going to draft you, we'll see what we got with you, so you go sit over there, this is our starter, learn the ropes, try to fit inside the box that is this franchise that you've been drafted to. Does he have the humility to do that? I don't think he's demonstrated that he does,
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that's like, hand me the keys to your franchise.
Right.
No franchise wants to hand the keys to him.
Which might be why
he's falling probably. I will say this though, when the Giants took Jackson Dart, because once Cam Ward was off the board, I was like, all right, so no other quarterbacks might go high. Like if it's not Shedeur. I think Jackson Dart's not good, and what little I've seen of Jackson Dart, I don't think he's good. Is what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to I'm not here to argue that Shedeur Sanders is good and should have gone first round, but the idea that like the Giants got their man with Jackson Dart, I find as a guy who watched basically the Florida game, that was the game, right?
Yeah, the Florida game where he melted down in the final.
Where he was trying to lose the game, and Florida's like, "We'll give you another. You know what? Here's a mulligan, Jackson Dart." He's like, "No, I don't want it, dude. You fucking take it." They're like, "No, Jackson. Seriously, try again." And he's like, "No, dude, interception. You take it." That was fucking insane to watch. I everything you're saying about Shedeur is fair, but then I'm also like, yeah, but the Giants traded up to get Jackson Dart, and they seem to be like very excited about that, which is confusing to me.
They have 4 quarterbacks now.
Yeah,
Russ, DeVito, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit of a mean team if you're looking at the quarterback room, but I maybe one. Can you go 1 for 4?
Maybe you just cast a wide net and hope one of them hits.
Yeah.
Hope or maybe it's not even one of them hits. It's just like piecemeal the season.
Yeah.
Like we have this guy go for a couple weeks. Once he loses the mojo, we throw in the other guy. Maybe he gets hurt. We'll go to the.
This is our guy that plays on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our dome quarterback if we're playing on a dome.
How long ago though did because wasn't Sanders supposed to go like 3 to the Giants for like the longest time? When did that change?
It was the talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first.
He had the
That was like
the
a
Giants
month ago?
cleats. Do you remember?
Oh
he
yeah,
looked on
that's
the
right.
Giants
Yeah.
cleats?
When did that change? Like when did he slap?
I don't know. This is the point I'm making. Is like I'm with you, Lucas. Is that I, as a casual observer of NFL draft content, it is. Is that was funny to you?
I thought, yeah.
I feel like that's a normal statement.
Was that a fun? Is that funny?
This is casual viewer of NFL draft content. I thought was a funny sentence.
Yeah, I can't make sense of Shedeur Sanders, and that's why night 1 was fascinating to me. That, like I'm admittedly, as a guy who's a talking head and has one of these sports shows, I'm supposed to be the guy that's offering the.
You got a torso too.
I don't really have a Shedeur Sanders take as far as the draft goes. I just am trying to make sense of all of the content that's out there, and so night 1 was fascinating to me because you do have guys that are paid to be on television that are like almost in tears. They're just like, it doesn't make sense. In all the years I've been doing this does not make sense.
Mel Kiper was on the draft show, basically like how Jim Cramer goes and apologizes when Facebook drops 20%. He's like, I'm so sorry, guys. Like I I thought this was the one.
You have those guys saying that, and then guys like you, Ebo, who I value your opinion on this stuff, and you're like, no, I mean, what the fuck, dude, Shedeur Sanders? I don't know. It was insane that he ever thought he had a chance to go in first round.
Yeah.
So, to see it unfold is fascinating theater. So that I think that would we agree? Did you guys agree with me, or again, am I just a casual observer of what did I say, Connor? That was fun.
The casual observer of NFL draft content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I just a casual
Big,
observer? But as a less casual observer, Connor, is it fair to say that was the story of night one?
Oh, yeah. I was on the edge of my seat when the Steelers came up with the 21st pick. Because I was like, okay, well, if they don't pick Shedeur Sanders right now, he's not getting drafted in the first round. And for them to go D-tackle, and that's when it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
He's not. Now, the question becomes, the Browns have the very first pick of this second round. They actually have 2 of the first 4 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Do they take Shedeur, and is that the worst possible scenario for Shedeur, where you still go to a team that had a top 5 pick, but it's not a first rounder, it's a second rounder.
Yeah.
So you don't even fall to a good team in the late 20s or something like. You just fall to a bad team.
Yeah, because when
round.
you get picked, when you fall a little bit, you can play the whole I'm gonna make all those teams that passed on me pay.
And now I wind up
But
in a
now
better franchise and a better situation.
But now you're on a team that passed on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're going
that's
to
the
a team.
Maurice Jones-Drew thing. Where
Yeah.
Maurice Jones-Drew wore 32 because 32 teams passed on him. But
Yeah.
that
But
team didn't pass on him. He should have been 30. He should have worn 31.
Yeah. It could be a really bad situation where you still go to Cleveland with the expectation of being the savior, but they didn't even think that you were good enough to be picked with.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's a weird scenario, and you get less money, and it could be still a bad situation.
Darren Ravel's tweet last night.
I missed this one.
It's just
I didn't see it.
it's like Shedeur Sanders has now lost $30 million by not going number 1. It's like, yeah,
But you don't lose money you never had.
correct.
I lost all that money.
We all lost.
Yeah, we all lost.
We could still
Why not?
lose.
Had I gone number 1, I would have made way more money than I
Yeah.
make now. Yeah, but I didn't. So
You did go number 1, no? In the Harlem Globetrotters?
Harlem Globetrotters draft, yeah, I did. I did go number 1. Potential money guaranteed money lost from slipping in the good tweet, Darren. From slipping in the draft, assuming they could have gone number 1. Shedeur Sanders, $34 million and counting. Will Levis, $29 million. Aaron Rodgers, $19. This is insane. This is a nonsense tweet.
There's no way that only got 50 likes, right? Yeah.
Good job, Lucas. Lucas is filling in for TJ, by the way. That's all that needs to be said about that. Story number 2 from the draft. You ready? So that was story number 1 to me was Shedeur Sanders and all of the other shit around it, such as Jackson Dart going, like the Giants take a quarterback.
Proactively going to get Jackson.
Proactively going to get Jackson Dart, which, the Giants are just saying, we identified that we have our guy and we want to go get him. But I think the, casual observers of NFL draft content like me see that, and they're like, and I think that that's kind of an indictment of Shedeur Sanders, because you're trading up to take a different quarterback, and Shedeur Sanders had the NFL the what'd you say, the Giants cleats?
Yeah,
Giants cleats. Once upon a time we thought that the Giants wanted Shedeur Sanders, and now they're taking a different quarterback. So that all of that surrounding Shedeur Sanders, I thought was the story of the draft. The other story, staying in Boulder, Colorado, is Travis Hunter is on our team now.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter is one of our guys. We are Jags
Family.
guys, as the jersey above Connor, as Lucas will surely show. Here we go. Take your time, Lucas. There it is.
Nice.
You got the helmet over there, the Jags helmet. The Jags trade up 3 spots to get Travis Hunter, and then give up
next year's first rounder.
So we're Jags guys. We're all Jags guys. Is that fair to say? We as a show are Jags guys. We're not. You don't have to individually, because Connor, I know Connor gets sensitive about but what if my Eagles fans see me having a
No, we love the Jaguars.
But we as a show, you don't have to individually be a Jaguars fan, Connor. But we as a show are Jaguars fans. I'm happy about Travis Hunter. I'm excited to see what they do with him. I do think it's fascinating. I think. Whether you think Travis Hunter is going to play every single snap in the NFL or not, you can't deny that he's a great athlete, great football player, great, as you pointed out, Ebo, great ball skills. You throw the ball in the air, whether he's playing offense or defense, There's a trust that Travis Hunter is going to go make a play on that ball.
Best 500 player maybe in the world.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So this is a positive thing for the Jaguars. We're just not sure how it's going to materialize moving forward. But did they get fleeced? Did our beloved Jags get fleeced? That's what the pundits are saying. The pundits are saying our beloved Jags might have gotten fleeced. Might have been an overpay.
Well, our guy James Gladstone, who is younger than Lucas, maybe, as the GM of the Jaguars, said, "Fuck them draft picks."
Yeah.
Literally said, "Fuck them draft picks." So I don't
get them out of here.
Yeah, fuck them. I don't even want them.
You can't do anything with draft picks. Draft picks are just like an ideal. They're a construct that's in the air. You know what's not is Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
The Heisman Trophy winner. That's a real thing. That's a real thing that can go on the football field.
Yeah.
Draft picks are just kind of like a number on a spreadsheet in the future. I might be dead by the time that draft comes around. What do I care about that draft?
Mm-hmm.
I care about the here and now. Give me Travis Hunter.
And the one thing that could make sense for it all, if you're overpaying for a draft pick, is you're basically saying there is like nothing else in this draft even close to worth it as Travis Hunter is worth it. Like you're like, I'm going to pay the premium to get the best player. Maybe like some people are saying Shohei Ohtani of football. So it's like,
yeah,
I tell you, you can get the Shohei Ohtani of football. Would you pay a premium to get it? Like
he has the highest ceiling unquestionably, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
if Travis Hunter turns into what Travis Hunter thinks Travis Hunter is going to turn into, I mean, that's unquestionably the highest ceiling.
He has the third best odds to win offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. This is James Gladstone. I've got some familiarity with. Oh, fuck them picks. Oh, you're being serious?
Yeah, he said. Fuck
he actually
them
said
picks.
fuck them picks. I
love this guy.
I didn't see this. He actually said fuck the picks. I'll tell you, don't be scared. This is something I'm uniquely positioned to navigate. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for our Jags. All right. So yeah, the Jags went and got their man, Travis Hunter. All right.
What are you doing?
To
Connor.
We're a family, Connor.
to be devil's advocate.
We don't need you to be.
It's like when your uncle brings up politics at Thanksgiving.
We don't.
Yeah, I won't be. I'll shut.
Why don't you tell Lucas?
What if you were gonna say it? What would you say?
No, I'm not gonna say it.
Just tell Lucas. Yeah, get in Hawaiian mode.
ears.
Look how chill. Mark's not even gonna be mad at you. He's wearing a Hawaiian. Look how chill he is.
What do you?
I'm just taking my jacket off.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing. I'm taking my jacket off. Say what you want to say.
I think it was a lot. It was a lot to give up. It was a lot to give up for Travis Hunter.
Do you think it was a lot for Howie Roseman to give up an extra pick to move up one spot?
No.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I saw that the Eagles moved up. What did the Eagles give up?
They traded like the 100th pick.
Yeah. We got it.
And 32 to get.
Why?
31.
I don't understand moving up one spot.
Because
you're scared the Chiefs were going to take.
Yeah, possibly. There was a guy in Jahad Campbell who many people had in their top 15, but because he had labrum surgery, he fell further and further down the draft, and we were like stunned that he was still there, and we wanted to ensure that by the end of the round we got him. And the Chiefs, there was a possibility maybe they would have taken him, so I'm fine with that.
All right.
But yeah, I do think that the Browns won that trade with the Jags for sure.
No, because the Jags got Travis Hunter.
Correct.
No, but but the Jags got Travis Hunter. So,
but
and the Browns got a player that none of their fans are going to be a fan of. So
is he a Michigan guy?
Yeah. Who hates Ohio State?
Yeah.
You think they like that? That's already a failure, right?
Yeah,
I think that's an auto loss.
True. The Lions took it a Buckeye, by the way.
Oh, really?
Williams, yeah.
Little Michigan-Ohio State switcheroo.
Yeah, the Lions took a Buckeye, so maybe they should just trade. Maybe they should figure that out. We got Travis Hunter. The Jags. I never been a better time to be a Jags fan. You just got to be excited about Travis. If you're a Jags fans, I assume are just like, we don't give a fuck that we got fleeced. We got Travis Hunter, right? Is that I don't know. I need some sort of direction.
We have a Jaguars fan here. I don't know if he's in the office
Chaps.
today, but
nobody's in the office today.
Everybody's gone.
Everybody's going to the game, right?
Parking lot's empty.
It's crazy.
Yeah, nobody's here.
It's crazy. I'm jealous.
Are you doing solo yak today?
I think I might be.
Yeah.
And I'm just jealous. I'm just straight up jealous. Like, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just jealous.
Yeah.
It just feels like everybody's going to the game, and I'm not.
Control rooms pregame.
Mm-hmm. The control room's going to the game?
Yeah, they're popping bottles in there.
What you call him? Dougie Smokes?
Yeah, Dougie Smokes.
Yeah, Doug is going to the game today.
Phillies are at Cubs. We have a lot of Philly people that work at this company. We also are based in Chicago. Obviously, have a lot of Chicago people. So I think that created a perfect storm where just like half the office is seemingly going to the game.
I'll be going.
And then you got like guys like Smokes that are neither Philly nor Chicago Cubs
time.
guys, but he's just like
Wrigleyville fucks.
Yeah, Wrigleyville fucks. So I'm gonna go to the game.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying they should be reprimanded. I'm just saying I'm jealous. I'm just straight up jealous. I mean,
you've only been able to make it out once in the last year, and that was when you had to take your kid out of school for his diarrhea.
Right. That was an emergency.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the game because I wanted to go to the game.
Yeah.
I had to go take care of my child.
Exactly.
And I got done addressing the need of my child. And then it was like I could either go back to the Yak for the last 20 minutes, or since I'm already here, I mean the pediatrician was right by Wrigley.
Yeah.
So I was like, I might as well just go to the game, and that was different.
No
that was
brainer.
very different than what's going on. I do think we as a company, this is serious. This is a serious idea I have. I think we need everybody gets like a couple trips, a couple Fridays to Wrigley.
Okay, you get a punch
you get like two all season. You get like because this has Smoke says I could see Big Cat like. The wheels are turning with Big Cat when Smokes did it for some reason. I think it's just because it's Nicky Smokes, really. But also he was rubbing it in everyone's face.
Yeah.
I think if Smokes just went, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. And he didn't give anybody a heads up and all of that. But I don't really care. I'm not going to pretend like I'm actually mad that Smokes went to the Cubs game. I wish I could have gone to the Cubs game. But I think we might need to implement a policy where everybody gets like 2, 3. I don't know. I don't know what the number is. But just like a number, so then that way when you're doing it, you can do it shamelessly. You can nobody has to tiptoe around it. Because I think Paige is going to the game, and Paige was like so bashful when she went up to. I watched her like go up to Dan and be like, like kind of like doing this little maneuver, like, so can I please maybe slip out early, so please I would love to go.
I think that's
to
called
baseball.
the uwu.
Yeah, the ooh, could I please? And it's like you should just be able to be like I'm using one of my 3. I'm going to Wrigley, goddammit. Nobody say a word to me. Mm-hmm. And again, I just want to do that, and I want to do it without feeling bad. I want to be able to text you guys and just be like, I'm going to Wrigley today, and there's no questions asked.
Well, you should have done it today.
You're not allowed to be mad at me. You're not allowed to judge me.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it. I'm going to Wrigley for the Friday 120 game. That's all.
You're an ideas guy.
You should have just left
an ideas guy, and I think the way we do it to where people can do it without ridicule is we just have a policy where you get 1, 2, maybe 3, I don't know, a season, and no one can say anything. Mm-hmm. And then, I'm sure people will still go more than their allotted 3, but then when they do that, we can now attack them for it. We can count them up. What do you think about that, Connor?
I like that a lot. Very excited to go tomorrow and Sunday if you're still down.
Let's go Sunday.
Okay.
You want to go Sunday?
Yeah. We'll look at tickets.
Where should we look for tickets?
Game time.
You're goddamn right. NBA playoffs are here, and the only place to buy hard-to-get playoff tickets is Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. You can save up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets. What are you waiting for? Go get some playoff tickets. Go get some baseball tickets. Go get some – there are a lot of tickets out there. Summer is, I've always said this, and you can go back and check the archives. I've said it many times. Summer is ticket season. It is. It's summer is right around the corner. We'll know when it's here when I watch Top Gun Maverick. And you got to get ready for concerts, for NBA playoffs, for baseball, for NHL playoffs, all of it really. Take the guesswork out of buying those NBA playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code MOSTLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code MOSTLY, MOSTLY, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. All right, story number 3 from the draft, from what I can glean as a casual observer of NFL draft content. It's not as funny the 4th or 5th time.
No,
I guess the first time it was funny. It's running.
I'm just picturing it as like a LinkedIn, like your.
That's
job.
my title.
Yeah,
That's
your
my title.
on LinkedIn.
Casual observer of NFL draft content.
Yeah.
Another story, and now we're kind of in no particular order. This is no particular order for me, but
isn't the draft explicitly in a particular
it is
order,
particular.
though?
That's
Okay.
why I need to make the note that
Okay.
this one's
All right.
not
Good.
in any
Good.
particular. Actually, no, I traded up.
Okay.
To have this,
Okay.
this
Did you give up a lot?
this story traded up to be story number 3.
Okay. Good.
Because I don't feel like it's, and I feel like it's typically a story number 3, but they saw their value and they're like, we got to go get our guy.
Okay.
So this is story number 3. The Green Bay Packers, who were hosting the draft, finally, at long last, drafted a wide receiver. And that's notable, right?
Because they hadn't done it.
They hadn't done it for a long
Yeah,
time.
in
This
the
has
first
been
round.
this has been a consistent criticism that Aaron Rodgers, when he was there, they would never draft a receiver in the first round for him. Now Jordan Love is there. They won't draft a receiver in the first round for him. And I'll be goddamn, last night, all it took was the draft being in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the Green Bay Packers to select a wide receiver in the first round.
The Packers, who famously have no receivers right now and no weapons for Jordan Love, but actually have a lot of weapons for Jordan Love.
Yeah,
I'm
a lot of
lying.
weapons. They're a young core team, right?
Yeah, they're
Very young core.
Dontavian Wicks.
Wide receiver in the first round 1 for the first time since 2002. Golden wasn't even born the last time they took a round 1 wide receiver. Oh my God. He wasn't even alive to see it. Holy shit. That's crazy. That's crazy, Lucas.
I was 1. That's all.
How was that?
I don't know.
Why do we care?
I don't know. It's a long time ago.
Connor, how old were you?
I was 3.
Okay, now I care about that.
Oh, yeah,
I do care about how old Connor was when the Packers took a...
In Connor years, that's 3.
All right, so the Packers took a wide receiver, and then did you notice one thing I noticed about the Packers taking a wide receiver was that the second the Packers pick was announced, 95% of that crowd left.
Yeah.
Like, they all left. Everybody left. And it makes sense why, but it was just very funny. It was like they were doing a lot of drone overhead shots, coming in and out of commercial, and then the Packers make the pick, and then they would do one of those. You're like, oh yeah, everybody just left.
Yeah, I mean Matthew
Everybody's
Gold,
gone.
he got up on stage and did a little pep rally. It was like a little high school pep rally. Like I'm here. Let's go win the homecoming game tonight. I need you all there. We're gonna crown the king and queen of homecoming. Get out there, Green Bay, and then they just all left.
It is very weird that they're doing the draft in a parking lot right next to a massive fucking stadium that could
Host all these
seat and
people.
host all of the people.
Yeah.
And it was built specifically to host a large crowd.
Yeah.
And they're hosting the event right outside of that stadium. But then every time, was that where the red carpet was? Because every time they would do the drone overhead shot thing, there was like a smattering. Is that a word? Smattering of people.
Yeah, there was
in
inside the
Lambeau.
stadium, yeah.
And they're just like just dotted all around the
also,
stadium.
it
just
looked like
sitting
they were in a
there.
tent like 5 million miles away.
Yeah.
Like they would announce the pick, and then the guy would go down a long, winding
So
hallway.
long, dude.
Look in the mirror. I didn't really like the mirror cam. Is that?
I don't like. They're doing.
It's a little
too
too
much.
intimate.
They're doing
Like,
too much.
I don't need to be there with that guy in that moment.
Smattering. Yeah, there you go. A slight superficial. Okay, a small amount of
nice.
something. There we go. Good job, me. Good word, me.
I feel that was wrong.
A small amount of something?
I thought you said it was a lot.
No, I said a smattering. Pull up the pic. Fuck you, Lucas. Pull up an overhead shot of the people that were in Lambeau last night. It's a smattering. It is by definition a smattering. No, I wasn't saying it was a lot. I was saying it was a smattering, Lucas. If I meant it was a lot, I would have said it was a gaggle. I would have said it was a
murder.
A murder of people. But I said a smattering on purpose. I choose my words carefully. Okay. Now pan to Lambeau.
I can't.
Damn it, Lucas. No. Turn the camera around, Lucas. We don't want to focus on that. Turn the camera. Spin it around. God damn it, Lucas.
It was a great crowd.
It was, yeah.
He didn't say zoom in.
Yeah, no, he just doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. He does not get it whatsoever. Yeah, they're doing a little too much, but whatever. I don't know. The draft is a television event. I will say, as compared to the NBA draft, and maybe I'm going to tee you up to go on a rant on insiders, Ebo, because you were fired up.
Yeah, I was
about
black-pilled
about
last
these
night.
insiders. As compared to the NBA draft, the NFL does at least do a good job of understanding that the draft, if you're going to put it on TV, and you're making this a television product, then make it a fucking television product, and understand that there needs to be some sort of entertainment. Now, you can only do so much. You can only make it so entertaining. But I do think that they're trying different things to make this more than just like an old man in a suit reading off names of players, right?
Yeah.
So like I do appreciate that part of it, but maybe they are doing slightly too much. I don't know. I don't want to fault them for trying, but yeah, there was a little bit, slightly too much.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'm fine
like
with it. You got to spill a little paint sometimes.
the cool part of the draft is that we could just do it over an email, but it could be an email thread,
right?
But the ceremony is what makes it cool. Like you give these guys their moment to bat. Like Will Campbell got to just like really soak it all in and like get very emotional about the fact like all his hard work has culminated to this moment in front of thousands of people,
right?
And now he gets to go on his career. I don't think that the reason the draft is fun is necessarily because you're finding out who your team gets. That is fun. I think what makes it fun is the way you find it out and the ceremony of it all.
Right.
I don't need insiders spoiling a pick 2 picks from now and then like tweeting it out, because you could stay off Twitter and avoid it, but the information is already out there. Then as soon as it is out in the ether in the world, it'll go everywhere. You know, like it'll just like the guys on TV will be like, we were talking about this before the show. Oh wow, like Colson Loveland would be a great great fit here.
Yeah, the Bears have a pick coming up. They could go a lot of different directions. These Chicago Bears, new head coach. Offensive-minded, does that mean they're going to go after an offensive player? Are they going to shore up the defense and trust that maybe Ben Johnson has enough tools to work with offensively, and maybe it's the defensive side that we may need to make sure has more talent? They could go a lot of different directions, but guys, I got to say, if it's me, I'm going Colston Loveland. And here's how Colston Loveland fits in with these Chicago Bears. Let's run the highlight package. And then everybody at the desk is now talking about Colston Loveland, and you're seeing the time left for the pick is like there's still like 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock, and they're all just like all in on Colston Loveland going to the Bears, and it's a tell, and you're watching at home, and even if you're off Twitter like I was, and I'm not trying to have these picks spoiled, I'm not a dumbass. I'm like, all right, well obviously the Bears are going to take Colston Loveland. It'd be very funny if they didn't. It'd be very funny if ESPN was doing 3 minutes of here's how Colston Loveland will fit in with the Chicago Bears just to pivot to a completely different pick. But at the very least, they're not spoiled. They're not straight up spoiling the pick like Woj does with the NBA draft. Where Woj would just come on television and even if you're off Twitter and you've done everything you can do to lean into the television product, and you're like, I want to be surprised, and then he would just come on screen, say the pick that's going to happen, and then Adam Silver would say the pick. At least they didn't do that. But I do think there's got to be. I don't know how you'd stop that though. I would prefer a way that the desk doesn't know what the pick is, but obviously the producers are in their ear. There is some sort of value to ESPN to knowing what the pick's going to be, so they can queue up the highlight package and get the graphics ready and all that. But yeah, viewing it at home, the ideal draft is the commissioner or whoever's doing the announcing of the pick is the one that tells you, the viewing public, what the pick is for the first time. He's the only one that knows. And it's impossible for him to be the only one that knows. I understand that. I understand how this all works. But I as a consumer of the product, want to create a situation where that's the first time I learn who's getting drafted by every team. Yeah. And I've tried to do the best job I can. And the NFL does a really, really good job as compared to the NBA of it, but they still like nudge the conversation towards the guy to where, unless you're a child, you kind of know what's coming. You know? Like if you're like 7 years old, I'm sure you're still like surprised.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm not 7 years old. I'm not surprised. I know who you're taking when you're sitting there talking about him nonstop. So anyway, Packers take a wide receiver. That was a story for me. Story number 4 to me was that, and maybe this falls under the category of not a surprise, but was of note to me. The top 8 picks, if I had that correct, the top 8 picks, half of them were not SEC or Big Ten schools. But then by the time the first round ended, 26 out of the 32 in the first round were SEC or Big Ten schools. Now, I'm not pointing out anything, this is not a surprise to anybody. I'm not pointing out anything that hasn't been pointed out already, that college football is trending towards 2 mega conferences and everyone else. But that stood out to me, that all the talent, like the way the draft started. I mean, you have your first 2 picks that aren't from the SEC or the Big Ten. We get Ashton Genty at Boise State. We get Ted McMillan at Arizona. The 4 of your first 8 are from outside of the 2 super conferences. And then after that, it just settles in. And I think there was only one more pick the whole first round, the North Dakota State guy, the lineman. Yeah. Gray Zabel. And then every other pick was SEC. Or no, that's not right. We had Carolina, the Carolina running back. That's right. But my point is, it's not just the teams, it's also the individual talent. I just think that this isn't something that needed to be pointed out, I guess, because we all know it's trending that, but this is just another data point to drive home the point that the SEC and the Big Ten are just continuing to distance themselves, even on a draft where the first 2 picks were not from those conferences, Evo.
Yeah, and the first 2 picks were a guy that was the number 1, or a guy that was a quarterback that has showed out with big production numbers and went to Miami.
Yeah.
And then the other guy was the number 1 recruit in all of college.
I feel like we're 5 years away from what I'm saying is I feel like we're like within the next 5 years a draft is just all SEC and Big Ten in the first round, and maybe the second round, maybe even the third round. Connor, what if we get fucking crazy?
What about the 4th?
I do like the one off North Dakota State in there because it does just keep the magic of college football alive a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though they are the dominant dynasty of FCS, you get a guy from a small school who worked hard and played in a good offense and was productive. He never left North Dakota State. He probably could have transferred out for a ton of money. Probably didn't get paid a ton of money to go to North Dakota State, and he still gets to live out his dream and go in the first round. And there still are opportunities out there for you.
Yeah.
In the long run, if you're at an FCS program or a G5 school or even the ACC, it's just they're dwindling. And
they're dwindling.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that there is at least a glimmer of the old.
We still have the glimmers. So yeah, there were. Did I count that right? 26 to 32. We had Miami, Colorado. Yeah, half of the. 3, 4. Yeah, we had 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I counted that right.
What did you think of Ashton Genty basically saying Green Bay? There's nothing to do.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, as a guy that went to school in Boise, Idaho. Do you think that's a fair thing to say? Packers fans were a little.
I feel like that makes it more valid.
Yeah.
I feel like Brandon pointed out yesterday that he just attacked Greeny for some reason because Greeny wanted a latte.
He wanted an almond milk latte.
Yeah. But Brandon was like, I'm sick of these fucking New York people saying there's nothing in Green Bay, yada yada yada. I feel like a guy who's lived how many years was he at Boise State? 3? 4? Was he a senior? A guy that's been at Boise for a handful of years. Then saying Green Bay has nothing to do, I feel like that makes it more valid.
Yeah.
That's like him saying, I know what a small city looks like. And even by that standard,
by small city standards.
I'm still
Green Bay is a fascinating
I've never been. I'd like to visit. I don't want to shit on Green Bay too much.
But
I've never been.
It's fascinating in the sense that it's like a very, very, very small city. And there's never even been like an iota of like national rumblings, I feel like, of them moving to Milwaukee, which is like a legitimate metropolis in the same state. Whereas like we're talking about the Dallas Mavericks in the largest metro area like in the country. I don't know where Dallas Fort Worth like the totality ranks, but a massive metro area. And they're like, there's like legitimate rumbling.
They might try to
move. They might move.
Yeah, but that's what makes the NFL so powerful, but among other things. But I think you can have a franchise in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and you can have if I told you a playoff game is taking place between the team from Kansas City, Missouri, and Buffalo, New York, you're like, oh my fucking God, that's going to be a banger. And I have to watch that. And like, what other sports league, what other entity in this country could you be like, we're taking the best that Kansas City has to offer, we're pitting it up against the best Buffalo has to offer, and we're throwing it on television.
Yeah.
And the whole country is going to be like, I have to watch that.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the NFL so good is that the talent doesn't just move to the coast, and it's not just let's only focus on the big city. So Green Bay, I will say, like Packers fans and people of Green Bay, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like on the one hand, what makes you believe that you have the elite franchise and our franchise is better than everyone else and we do things differently is your small town feel and your cozy little, fucking all of our fans own our team and we do things differently because we're a small town and a tight-knit community. You can't like put that on a pedestal but then also be mad that everyone's like, wow, this is a small town.
Yeah.
Like of course guys that have the option to play in New York and Miami and all these other cities are going to think Green Bay is a little boring.
Yeah.
But that's part of it. You just have to spin that and be like, that's what makes us awesome.
Yeah.
Is that we're the only show in town. This makes us unique, and this makes the league awesome. You know. But,
I feel bad for Genty though, going to a city where there's nothing to do.
Yeah, he where'd he go? Las Vegas.
Yeah, not much to do.
Right, not much to do in Las Vegas. Yeah, do you need is that a red flag that Ashton Genty wants something to do? Shouldn't he just be like, "Oh, I just want to play ball, man"?
Yeah.
Like, do we want our rookie to be looking for things to do outside of ball? Are we worried about Travis Hunter, who's an avid fisherman, going to a Jacksonville's on the coast, right? Lucas, you're a Florida guy. Would we consider Jacksonville on the coast? It's close enough, right?
We
Yeah,
did this
East
discussion
Coast.
where I did not consider them an East Coast city because I was talking about.
Oh.
We got into a whole thing with people online about is Jacksonville a true East Coast city?
Oh shit.
But it's on the East Coast, but is it East Coast?
Oh
culture?
shit. I would say no. I would say it's a southern.
I think
city.
you and I were both on that page.
Yeah.
It's not true.
I don't think Miami's an East Coast city either.
I think the East Coast cities are like Boston to DC, and that's or Virginia Beach to Boston.
Yeah.
Those are the East Coast cities.
Yeah, like Charleston, South Carolina, not an East Coast city, right? That's a southern city.
It's a cultural thing. Like how do you approach work-life balance?
Because you picture in your head, if you say East Coast city, you're picturing a certain, like you said, a certain cultural makeup of that city.
Yeah.
And the southern cities don't have that.
Yeah.
They have a southern feel to them.
Yes.
Right. Anyway, are we worried that Travis Hunter is going to go fishing too much? Are we worried about, fishing in Cleveland would have been
I'm more worried.
Not as appealing.
I'm more worried that he's gonna be making like videos with Dude Perfect in the pool. I feel like that's more of a true concern because he loves the content game.
He does love the content game.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Jacksonville, not too far. I guess it is a little bit far, but Savannah Bananas, maybe some more collabs in the future with them.
Speaking of guys in Florida, speaking of Ashton's, I think my last story of the draft, Ashton Hall slips out of the first round.
Damn.
Yeah, I really thought
he's been working out.
Yeah.
His workout looked great.
He had a chance.
Do you think he interviewed bad?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know if his MRIs or something, his medicals came back poor. I don't know, but yeah, I thought that was of note. I thought he had a lot of buzz around him. He never was trying or tried for the NFL. Yeah, same man. He never tried.
I do want to.
I could have made it. I just never actually.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm actively.
You are trying.
I am actively working out trying to.
You're
make
not
the
afraid to
Jacksonville
admit that
Jaguars.
you are
No,
trying to
I'm
make the NFL.
Yeah. So Travis Hunter, this is a message to you. You better be fucking working. I'm coming for either spot. And I'm coming for multiple positions.
Whoa.
Huh.
From or for?
Yeah.
That's not important, Lucas.
Huh. What else? What else did I miss? What else in the draft were you like?
Oh, well, the baby that got shook around to oblivion.
Yeah, I missed out on the. I didn't see a lot of the family type stuff.
There wasn't
like,
much stuff.
Were there hot girlfriends, hot wives, hot moms?
No, there was no viral girlfriend.
No.
Was there anyone dressed stupidly?
No. It was just the baby.
Or anybody?
How
were the
Genty wore
daps?
Crocs?
I saw someone had a custom dap with Goodell. It felt like who was
That was Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter had the custom dap. Now
He just got.
baby just getting obliterated.
The baby was sleeping.
Abdul Carter had the custom dap, right? What did he do?
believe
Like
so.
you do like a
It wasn't great.
one of these.
It wasn't great. No, it was like.
I don't like. Can I say that, or does that make me uncool?
You don't like doing this one, or
I don't like any. A lot of the athletes will do like it's
Is that
a big stop?
That's a Canseco McGuire thing. Is that who popularized that?
McGuire was. Well, wait, I don't know
Who did
when I picture
popularize-
McGuire, it could have been Canseco McGuire. McGuire used to do like 2 fists up here and then punch you in the gut. I remember that.
Okay.
Or maybe punch him in the dick. This would be the part of the show where maybe a visual aid would be helpful. Maybe just literally any type of visual aid as we're trying to figure out what all these handshakes were. Abdul Carter, maybe Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, maybe just showing like what I'm talking about, where the hooking of the arms.
Sorry, I have an ad.
You have an ad?
Yeah, a 15-second ad.
You have an ad on our show?
Well,
All right, well,
I have an
read
ad.
the ad.
Well, no, it's an ad for.
What?
Don't worry about it.
This guy's producing.
There was an ad before his YouTube video.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's what I picture Mark McGuire. But did he do a different one with Canseco? Were they doing
I'm just trying to think. I definitely. I don't know who.
I'm saying
maybe Prince Fielder.
the move where you take the the crease of your elbow.
Yeah,
and
and
you touch the other guy's crease of his elbow.
You go pit to pit, elbow pit
I
to
feel
pit.
like the guys that do that, and yeah, maybe it's me. Hold on, I gotta turn my hat backwards so everyone knows I'm cool and I'm not just being like.
Naturally.
Yeah. Like I'm a cool guy. I know it's cool. But to me that one's just not cool, and I've never really liked that one. I've never really felt like that one's a cool thing. Oh, they crossed the forearms. So they went like this. They went there. Good camera work. They went there. Not so much. That's the one I'm talking about.
You don't like that one.
I just don't. That's not instinctive to me. I wouldn't think. I wouldn't think that like I make a big play. It's like let's touch the creases of our elbows.
Yeah.
That's what Abdul Carter and Goodell did, right? Something like that.
No, I don't think they crossed the elbows. I think they did a bit of a flare. They had a high reaching dap. Let me look for it.
What do they do?
It was interesting. Goodell is just not a guy you could do a pre-planned handshake with. He's not.
He's the best. He's the best dapping commissioner we got, though.
So stick to the dap.
He is the best.
But
you know that.
Yeah.
So the other question is, how many guys could customize their Goodell dap? How many guys? Like if you're a guy that wasn't like Abdul Carter was one of them ones, as they say. He was one of the guys in the draft that mattered.
Yeah, he knew he was
Seems
going
like-
early.
Seems like there's three of them. He was one of the three. If you're not inside that three and you are still back there in the green room and you went up to the commissioner, you're like, I want to do a customized handshake. Do you think he's like, yeah, let's do it? You think if Matthew Golden wanted to do a customized handshake, Roger Goodell would have been like, yeah, let's take some time and figure this out.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
wait.
not.
I apologize. They did not do the linking of the arms like but part of the handshake it ended with them interlocking arms. It was not
That's what
yeah.
Yeah. I knew there was some sort of arm motion. Yeah. Yeah. That's
I was thinking they were really emphatic with
do
it.
the emphatic hook, but yeah, they definitely yeah.
Yeah.
All right, rate that handshake for me, Connor. Throw it again, Lucas. One more time. 1, 2.
That's a 5.5
Yeah.
at best.
Yeah, dap would have been. The daps are cooler.
Way cooler.
Way cooler than what that was.
And I'm an Abdul Carter guy, but that was not it.
Speaking of Abdul Carter and the New York Giants, they got 2 Star Wars nerds,
Yep.
Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this about Jackson Dart. Is that like a PR push from him, or is this something that was known for a
that's been
while?
a thing.
That's been a thing?
I think that's
Because that's
a new thing. There's like a whole generation of football players that are fucking nerds.
But we've known that about Jackson Dart already?
They used when Penn State was playing Ole Miss in the Peach Bowl back in 2023. They had an entire package planned, ESPN, of how much Jackson Dart loved Star Wars
really?
and looked like Anakin Skywalker.
And then and again, I'm a casual observer of the NFL content, so I missed that one.
But this was in a
That
bowl game.
That landed.
yeah.
That was good.
That was
me.
when Penn State was getting blown out by Ole Miss, and then they rolled the Jackson Dart Anakin Skywalker package, and I was in hell. But yeah, this is a known thing.
And he does the eye black. Yeah, that's what I saw this morning. He does the eye black.
Yeah, it does rock.
Yeah.
Would you be concerned if your franchise quarterback said that his one inspiration in life was a guy that committed genocide against a bunch of kids? Is that concerning?
That has to give you pause.
Yeah, right?
It has to.
It's like I really am inspired by Anakin
Yeah.
Walker. Anakin Skywalker, sorry.
Yeah.
He's not Brandon's kid. No, I think overall, this is a good character trait to.
Come on, Ebo. He's not Brandon's kid.
What is he
Come on,
online?
you
He said Anakin
silly-
Walker.
What is he
silly
online?
goose. Come on, you silly goose, Ebo. He's not Brandon's kid, man.
I think it's an interesting strategy to get 2 Star Wars guys. I think it'll work out for him. But it is also an interesting strategy to go and get Abdul Carter, who is a lifelong Eagles fan, wants to be a Philadelphia Eagle at some point in his career. And then on top of that, Jackson Dart, who said openly he wants to model his game after Jalen Hurts. Very interesting. Very interesting.
You know what else is interesting, Steven Singer? Do you call your mom every day or just on special occasions or once in a blue moon? Steven Singer Jewelers wants to help you tell the moms in your life every single day how appreciated they are. He's introducing his new brand new limited edition 24-karat gold dip blue moon rose for Mother's Day. Blue Moon Rose, I'm sorry. Skip flowers that die in a week. Steven Singer Jewelers signature gold dip roses are real roses dipped in 24 karat gold and are guaranteed to last a lifetime. Give her something she can look at and remember how loved she is all year long. Picture a brilliantly bright blue rose with diamond-like sparkles. This forever gift of a real long-stem 24-karat gold-dipped rose has Steven's full lifetime guarantee. It comes to you in an impressive gift box and your own personalized Mother's Day note. Order now exclusively at IHateStevenSinger.com. Hurry, because these will not be restocked and supply is limited. Shipping is always complimentary. That means free. Nothing says I love you like a real, authentic Steven Singer 24-karat gold-dipped rose that lasts forever. Only available from Steven Singer Jewelers in Philly or online at IHateStevenSinger.com. All right, is that the NFL draft? Do we have enough? I mean, I wish we could have gone deeper on the NFL draft, but we just didn't have – it would have been awesome to have someone on the show that, like, you know, lives and breathes college football and knows a lot about these guys and, you know, maybe spent last night getting balls deep in NFL draft content and certainly had experience – from last night talking on air about the NFL draft and could have done it on this show, but I don't know. Our booker let us down.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we could book someone like that on the show, but we couldn't.
I guess we ask Big Cat next time for a favor.
We just had a baby throw up on the NFL draft. The same baby, getting the back of its head obliterated, and then it just throws up.
I mean, they were forcing it out.
It's so funny. That's so good. Oh, that's so good. Anything else on the draft? I think that's it, right? We talked about everything. Yeah. The second round should have good. I mean, there were a lot of good players.
Oh yeah.
The NFL draft is. I know there aren't necessarily, you know, super duper stars in this draft, but I do feel like there's.
I think
it's sneaky deep, I guess.
The other story is the Mike Green off the field issues might be issues.
Elaborate, please.
Mike Green, edge from Marshall, was most productive player in college football this year, dominated the Senior Bowl. A lot of guys have him high on their board. Credible player, some issues at a past school.
All right.
Some allegations. So teams might be looking at that and saying,
you kind of, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, you basically just elaborate on the part I didn't want you to elaborate on. Like I didn't.
You want to know what the
you told
are?
You told
there are some
you said
there are two separate sexual assault allegations.
Okay, got you.
Allegedly.
I can fill in the blanks from there, I think.
Mm.
The NBA playoffs are going on still. Last night we had 3 games. One of them was a stinker. The one going in that I was most excited about was a stinker. I thought this Nuggets Clippers series was going to be awesome. It felt that way from the first 2 games. It felt like the team that lost the game lost it in not necessarily embarrassing fashion, but had it in their fingertips in both games and let it slip through their fingertips. So you thought we have a competitive series on our hands, and then last night, just not the case. Clippers just might be better. That might just be what's going on. The Nuggets, I mean, after game 2, we talked about that the Nuggets just feel unserious is the word that comes to mind. They have certain pieces that can work. It feels familiar. They won a title 2 years ago. But what made that team so good, and we were talking about this not too long ago, Ebo, about the construction of NBA teams. It's less about your best player. It's more about your 5th best player that's out on the floor. Mm-hmm. Nuggets don't have the depth they used to, and maybe that's just how this is going to go for them. They lose by 34 points. 34 points last night, so that game ended up being a stinker. The other 2 pretty good games. Jalen Brunson, as a sea of Detroit fans, chant "fuck you, Brunson" nonstop all night. Was kind of clutch down the stretch. He was kind of the guy. Was kind of making all the plays for them, and kind of and he wasn't doing all the bullshit. It felt like he was. I mean, he still got that to his game, but you know, game 2 was it reached a boiling over point, like we said, with the foul baiting and the flopping and all that sort of thing. And Jalen Brunson bounced back and had a monster game and did so with "fuck you, Brunson" being chanted by the Detroit fans, which was interesting because did you see how Tibbs handled Tibbs' response to "fuck you, Brunson" chants versus Steve Kerr's response to "fuck you, Draymond" chants? Very funny.
Did not.
Okay, so I'm paraphrasing, Lucas. See if you can find either clip. Steve Kerr went the route of like Draymond Green has kids, and it's unfair that his
Right.
kids
Yes, I remember this now.
have to hear fans chanting "fuck you, Draymond," even
About
though the
their dad.
only reason the fans are chanting "fuck you, Draymond" is because of Draymond's actions that have led to this. Whereas Tibbs is like, yeah, to Jalen, those are cheers. Is what his play that clip, play this. This is hilarious.
I would prefer, if fans could use a little more discretion and, remember that, the guy has kids and, it's like there's kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school, but I'm all for the fans cheering for their team. And if they want to yell at the opponents, great. But I don't know. I just think FU it's a little much.
To Jalen, those are cheers. He lives for that stuff.
What a juxtaposition. Also, Steve Kerr is old school. Isn't old school way worse?
Yeah, motherfuck you to your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way worse.
That's crazy.
And again, Draymond, it's not like they're saying fuck you, Draymond, because Draymond's good. Steph Curry's the best player on the team. They're not doing fuck you, Steph.
No, yeah.
They're doing fuck you, Draymond, because Draymond brought all of
He's
this
an
on
asshole,
him. He's
yeah.
an asshole. He brought all this upon himself.
It's the edge he brings to the game, is
Yeah.
being the guy that
So funny.
riles people up.
So funny. But yeah, a great game from Jalen Brunson. Has the clutch plays down the stretch.
Clutch player of the year. He won.
Clutch player of the year. Did he officially
2
win
nights
it?
ago, yeah.
He officially won it, and then he demonstrated last night. Clutch player of the year, 30.7 rebounds, 9 assists. But the game that is grabbing all the headlines, the game that is of note, is the Oklahoma City Thunder down by 29. Were they down 29 at half officially, or was it just in the first half? And then
I think they're in 29. They were down
Let me do the math real quick. We got the box
26
score.
and a half? 36, 26 and a half.
41 to 77, 26. They were down 29 at one point in the first half.
26 at the half.
They were down 26 at half. Late in the first half, Ja Morant on a fast break goes up to dunk on Lou Dort. Dort fouls him, and Ja lands on his hip, is out for the game, and then the comeback starts, and the Thunder defense, they tighten the screws on a certainly depleted Grizzlies offense. They don't have Ja Morant. They don't have their best player. Of course, it's going to be harder to score, but then up against that defense, it's even worse. And the Thunder chip back into the lead. They ultimately win the game. I'll say this about the play. Lou Dort has a reputation as being a dirty player. He has if you're a Lou Dort fan, you might say it's not dirty. It's just physical, old school basketball. It's dirty. He's got a reputation as being a dirty player. Ja Morant also has a reputation of being reckless on drives to the basket, being reckless on trying to dunk on everybody, which is not really, it's not a criticism except for that it lends itself to injuries, but like as far as like excitement, we all love it. How could you not love it? You love a guy putting his head down and trying to make a play at the rim. I think these were two forces colliding in an unfortunate situation, but I also think Lou Dort just slipped, and if it wasn't Lou Dort, I don't think there's any sort of question about whether this was a dirty play on Ja. What do you think, Eva? Did you see the?
I did not see the play. So
right,
I had this game up on the second TV, and I just looked over.
All right, I want you to see the play. I shouldn't have even said anything because I wanted to get thoughts just without me,
this was a second
without me
monitor game
pushing
for
you
me.
one direction or another. Watch this play that put Ja Morant out for the rest of the game. Fast break, throw it back to Ja, and then he gets undercut by Lou Dort.
Yeah,
and I think it's Lou Dort, so you're like, that's dirty as fuck. But I
feel
think
like he clearly loses his footing a little bit.
He loses his footing, and he doesn't even actually hit him that hard. It's just kind of how he hits him and where he hits him.
Yeah.
And also I think Ja, like this is the concern with Ja all the time, is that he goes up with reckless abandon. And this is always the fear with him.
Was that what do they rule that? Common? Flagrant? What was that?
What did they rule that, Lucas?
I don't know.
Okay.
What's the point? What's the point, Lucas?
What would you like me to look up? It doesn't say it there.
What's the
There
point?
remained a common foul. It was reviewed for flagrant.
Yeah,
flagrant.
I think that's enough. They went to the video review and they were like, "This was not malicious."
Yeah.
Because they hand those out pretty liberally. Flagrant fouls at this point. If it's like any sort of like dangerous contact.
Yeah,
regardless
Lou Dort,
of if it was
Lou Dort
intentional
pretty
or not.
obviously, to me at least, I don't know, just lost his footing. But still, 29-point lead gone in a playoff game, in a must-win playoff game.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
brutal. And I know the context, not having job, but like, come on, you're up by 20. The rest of your roster is NBA players.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You're up 29.
You're up by 29.
That is the new NBA, though, sometimes, where it's like a game is that years ago felt completely out of reach. Now has, with the way that teams play and shoot threes, is now within reach again.
Alex Caruso was a monster in this game down the stretch. Monster, making all the defensive plays.
Mhm.
Good for him. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of his. Huge fan of his. Always have been.
Somebody
Always have
pointed
been a
out
huge fan of his.
the Giddey Caruso trade actually wound up benefiting both teams really, really well.
Yeah.
Which at the time you're like, how could you give up a locker room guy in Caruso, somebody who's a veteran who's been great in terms of like setting the tone for the Bulls? How do you give him up? Well, it actually turned out where like Giddey has been really solid for the Bulls.
He's been solid, yeah. He hasn't
Caruso.
really, the Bulls are still the Bulls. But yeah.
Well, yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but down the stretch this year, a big part of the reason why the Bulls were so fun was because
they were
Giddey-
playing dog shit schedule.
Yeah, but the
That's-
Giddey had the half quarter to win the game,
And then when the
everything like
lights
that.
were turned on and it was time to like actually step up and win meaningful games, they
Piss down their leg.
they're like, yeah, we're the Bulls. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't do that at all. Can we get more?
Fair.
Can we play the Hornets and Wizards again
Yeah.
and beat them and get everybody excited?
They should trade for Scottie Pippen Jr. That's what they should do.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Bring back Scottie Pippen
and
Jr.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yes. dude.
Yeah.
And have Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
play-
Jordan's sensitive around Lucas. Be careful.
Why?
It was a little scary. It was a little scary for Lucas.
Oh yeah, that's right, Lucas. You saw the Michael B. Jordan movie
I
and you
did.
cried.
I didn't
cry.
cry. I didn't cry. I just was scared at some of the loud noises out of nowhere.
So
I
what-
understand.
You put
I
your
understand how
hood
bad that
up
sounds.
and plugged your ears. Did you? At any point in time, did the heels of your feet touch your seat because you were curled up into a ball?
No.
Okay.
I went in this movie knowing nothing. Not nothing, but very little to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a jump scare within like 30 seconds of the movie. I'm like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? There were a lot of jump scares.
Yeah, it was
A
bullshit.
lot of jump
right off the
scares.
rip.
Lucas.
Not a horror movie though. But a lot of jump scares.
That startled me a little. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I'm so startled.
Just seeing how you handled that one. You all right? You pee your
Yeah,
pants?
I'm good.
You
I'm
need
good.
a break?
I'm good.
Good movie? Was it a good movie?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Is
Yeah.
this a movie that's sweeping the nation or not?
I believe so. Because I think the box office on the Monday and Tuesday after opening weekend were very strong.
Okay.
Because the people that went over the opening weekend were praising it so much.
Okay. Yeah.
I would
feel-
recommend going to see
I
it in
feel like
theaters.
it's like halfway sweeping the nation. I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
we're into a full sweep yet. Is it now fully sweeping the
Yeah,
nation?
we're going for the sweep, I think. It's
a good-
3 games in.
It's a great movie theater movie.
Mhm.
Like, it's a great one to see in theaters. Like, I think it would be fine on your TV, but like, I think seeing it in theaters made it like a lot better than.
Okay.
I'd agree.
Is Michael B. Jordan making a move on
No.
the gal in the movie?
Haley Steinfeld.
A lot of people
the Josh
A lot
Allen?
of people are trying to do the
That's the
Sydney
gal that
Sweeney
Josh
Glenn Powell
Allen
thing.
Oh, that's the gal that Josh Allen's engaged to be married to, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Haley Steinfeld.
I saw chatter about that. That's just actors. That has to suck for actors.
Yeah.
Like, because your whole job is to have chemistry with one another on screen. But then if
pretend
you-
to have chemistry.
Yeah,
too.
like to pretend. Yeah, and then once you do your job well, everyone's like, they're fucking for sure.
Yeah.
They have to be.
Fake it till you
How
make
else? How else could they be on screen together and seem to be in love? It's like they're actors. That's how. That's their job. They're good at it. They're good at what they do. But also, they're extremely attractive people. And how could you not want to
Yeah.
have sex with one another? I don't know. It's a confusing mix.
I mean, she's been a monster actress since she was like 12 years old, though.
Mhm.
She's been
a monster.
superstar.
I don't know if you can say
Monstar.
an actress.
She's been a
is
monster. She's been a monster.
Like an actress. Like that's not a word we describe as a.
I also wouldn't say she's a superstar.
Yeah, I don't know. anything
I
she's
consider
been
Haley
in. What's she
Steinfeld-
in?
True Grit.
Okay, but like not even the right True Grit. It's the
She's also the
remake.
voice of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
In the new Spider-Man.
What's she
movie.
going in the Hall?
Scream superstar. This does not-
What is she? If she's going in the Hall of Fame tomorrow, what hat is she wearing?
I think it's literally her True Grit performance.
She's wearing a True Grit hat.
Yeah.
Originally, I agree with you, Evo. Looking at the IMDb, it's a bit rough because really, I think she's most known amongst a lot of people our age as like Pitch Perfect 2.
But these are all good box office movies, right? Even though they're not probably good movies. I imagine like Spider-Man, Bumblebee, Hawkeye.
Spider-Man for sure.
You don't think these all made?
Hawkeye was a TV show.
But she's also like a.
You don't think these all made like a fuck ton of money?
She's also like a
Hawkeye's a TV show. You're saying
like a pop star to an extent. Too. Like,
Okay.
she doesn't make as much music now, but she's like starving.
Yeah,
That's a massive hit.
Ender's Game that made a fuck ton of money, right? Click on Ender's Game. What
I
how
think
much?
that was a flop.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was a flop. Bumblebee also made $468
It grossed
million.
$126 million.
It lost a projected 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine, but I mean, it grossed $100 million.
Yeah, but it lost money. You're missing that part.
Bumblebee.
But what do I care about if we're talking about movies that people have seen? Who cares how much it costs to make? It's more the number you brought in is more indicative of how much people saw it, isn't it?
It's the art. That's a great take.
It's a fair point.
So I'm saying, if she's been in movies that everyone's seen, even if they, I don't know, what we're even fucking talking about.
She's like an all-star. She's not a superstar.
She's a good number 2.
Yeah,
She's a
number 2 wide receiver.
You can't win a championship with her as your best
No.
player.
You don't
at all.
consider her one
But-
of your pop star darlings, do you?
No.
No.
Because I don't view her as a pop star. Because like you said, she hasn't released a whole lot of music. She's more of a movie.
Anyway, good movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Sinners.
I got to see it.
Lucas.
I think that got him. He's not showing his camera on purpose, I think.
Yeah. Shout out to all the people going to see Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary in theaters this weekend, by the way.
You mean you?
I'll be probably
I will also be going.
Yeah, there we go. Fuck yeah.
Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks understands that epic sports moments are meant to be witnessed, so in case you missed them, these are your peaks of the week. Where, Ebo, you're sitting in the big chair. We got to come up with peaks of the week.
Peak of the week?
What is your peak of the week?
I think Jalen Green going off against the Warriors is my peak of the week. I've been a Jalen Green hater to an extent, or just like a doubter, I guess. But yeah, shout out to him for overperforming and dropping 38 versus the Warriors in a big spot, having to hold home court.
Yeah.
So shout out Jalen Green.
I'm gonna stick with basketball and say my peak of the week is Kawhi Leonard reminding us all that he is one of the greatest all-time players of the game of basketball. Specifically Game 2. Now the Clippers have now taken a 2-1 lead, obviously, on the Nuggets and are in position to win that series. But specifically it was Game 2. I think Game 2 was the game that it was a closer game. Kawhi missed a couple shots. Was perfect for a very long time. Played great defense. Had the steal where Jokic jumped in the air late and Kawhi gets the steal. Kawhi hit all the clutch shots. Kawhi hit all the shots throughout the game that he shot. Like, he was just almost as perfect as you could be in a basketball game. And it was in a meaningful game. Not only was it playoffs, it was close. And it created a situation where we come out of that game celebrating Kawhi Leonard, which we haven't been able to do much lately. And It was an exciting surprise to have Kawhi Leonard back in your life playing meaningful basketball. And there is sort of always you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're waiting for the report to come out that he turned his ankle in warm-ups and now he's out for the next 3 weeks or something. But until that time comes, we're gonna enjoy Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Peak of the week. That's my peak of the week. If you're searching for a spot to catch every epic highlight live, elevate your game day at your local Twin Peaks. Find your local lodge. Visit Twin Peaks Restaurant. .com. What else we got? Did you see? Here's some heartwarming stuff. We don't do enough heartwarming stuff on this show. We need to do more of it. We need to do more. No one's allowed to make jokes. No one's allowed to be cynical.
Legalize comedy, right, Mark?
No one's allowed to do any of this. We're just gonna play a heartwarming clip, and we're all just gonna say, "That's good, man. I like that. We need more of that." Lucas, find the clip of Devin Booker stopping by a lemonade stand in Arizona.
I didn't see this.
Find a clip of Devin Booker. Just some heartwarming stuff. We need more of it. Is Blubman going to the Cubs game, by the way?
Is he?
Is that why he's not here?
He's in
I don't
barge
know.
yet.
I figured he would have barged by now. Yeah, here you go. This is heartwarming.
Hey, y'all. Get some? What you got?
So we got these banana chips homemade. We got Gatorade, water, and
Do a Gatorade and some banana juice?
of course.
How much money do you think he gave him?
Cool car.
How much money do you think?
$100 bill.
How much money, if you were those kids, would you have had that reaction for? I think I would have done
$10?
Yeah, like $20, like 2 20s or something. But also, as an adult, I'm watching that and I'm like, he had to have given it. Like, if you're Devin Booker, you got to give him like $1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah. How much money did you give him? That kid just had the most unforgettable lemonade stand shift of his life. That kid, this might be the start of a kid becoming one of those
gurus,
those grinding, grind set mentality Instagram guys. That like
how I flipped how I made 10,000%.
It all started when I was 12 years old. I set up a lemonade stand. A lot of guys in the neighborhood, a lot of kids in the neighborhood were just pulling in, maybe $15 over the course of the day. Not me. I pulled in over $1,000. And from there, I realized there was something special about my business.
How I grew my business by 1,000,000% year over year.
Could be. Yeah. I want to talk about Chevy. I want to make sure I do that, and then we'll do some other stuff and get out of here. Today's show is sponsored by our good friends at Chevy. If trucks got drafted, Chevy would be the first pick every single year, completely bust-proof and full of grit, power, and dependability, plus 100 years of experience getting the job done. They're scouted, they're touted, and with the stats to back it up, Chevy trucks have earned more dependability awards for trucks than any other brand, according to J.D. Power 2025. Sounds like they have the stats to prove it. When you're on the clock, you'll want to pick. You will want a pick that won't let you down, and in every Chevy truck, dependability comes standard. Draft yours at Chevy.com and visit jdpower.com/awards for more details. The Devin Booker is the heartwarming story in the world of sports. The Shannon Sharp situation is the opposite of that. And I don't really want to talk about it much, except to just quickly remind everybody that I once worked at a company that was considered mainstream sports media. I now work at the biggest cesspool known to sports media, Barstool Sports, where everybody is a fucking scumbag that works here, and you're a total piece of shit if you have Barstool Sports logo on your paycheck. And it's something I regret every day that I work for a company that has such low moral standing, and I wish I could go back I wish I could go back to working for mainstream media companies that certainly have not had just one after another allegations and scandals left and right. And I'm sure all of the people that point their criticism canyon at this company are doing the exact same at all these other companies that find themselves entrenched in scandal. That's all. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
2 things on that. Did you see that the Vatican has anti-UAV cannons that they're giving to their security guards?
Anti-UAV cannons?
They're look up Vatican, drone
What is
cannon.
UAV?
Vatican drone cannon.
What does UAV mean? University of Alabama.
Vermont.
Valdosta?
Yeah, I think that is.
How do you pronounce that?
This came up on my TikTok feed today. This is like the craziest. You don't have premium, Lucas?
Lucas, you don't have premium?
I don't.
Well, how do you not have premium?
Can't afford it.
There we go.
Vatican City carrying special gun used to shoot down drones. All right, let me see.
I like.
Whoa!
My God!
Look at that thing. It's massive.
So. What it shoots bullets? It shoots
I don't know.
Pellets? It shoots.
It literally looked like a gun out of Halo. I
don't know a ton about guns. I do
Look at that thing.
I do know a little bit about gravity. So like if those are bullets and you're shooting up at a drone, those bullets have to come down, right? Like if you miss.
Not if you hit the drone.
So what are they shooting? What do we think they're shooting?
Fireworks? I don't know. It was.
Do you think it's like a magnet, like a really strong magnet that like sucks the drone towards it?
Yeah, it shoots a black hole into a miniature black hole.
That thing is fucking awesome. I will say that. That looks sweet to hold on to one of those. The guy holding it is, you can tell he's a European. Let's be honest. Like the American guys that would be doing that would just be roided to the gills.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look fucking badass. We're just being honest.
They're saying in the chat it's a net.
Oh, it's just a net?
Oh, that's way less
That's
cool.
not cool at all.
Yeah, that's actually lame as fuck.
I want one now. I want one for just to have around here.
Yeah. catch
We should
Jacob
just,
Bain.
yeah, just try to catch Mincy or something. Do that on the yak. Just have Mincy run around the office, and you got to run with it. We should incorporate that in the Mincy Climber Day. All right, we waited long enough. There's like maybe 5 minutes left in the show. You wanna talk about your waffles, Connor?
Sure.
Yesterday, how you feeling? Did you diarrhea? How many times you vomit after the stream?
I didn't vomit after the stream at all. I shat my brains out for a good 3 hours yesterday. It was diarrhea, but diarrhea that was still slightly solid.
I mean, you didn't need to say that.
I felt like shit.
Was it hot?
No, it wasn't hot. It wasn't hot. I felt like shit until the shit came out. It was such a relieving experience being on the toilet, but then I would wrap up, and then like 45 minutes later, I'd have to go back to the toilet, and it was just a constant cycle. So I was watching the draft like on my phone in the bathroom for a good chunk of the night.
Did the waffle stream live up to your expectations? Was it what you needed it to be?
Yeah, I didn't have any expectations for it. I just wanted to get it over with, and thankfully we got it done.
Are people off your back now? Like when you're going out and about in the public?
I mean, I haven't been out in the public. I've been in my bathroom for good chunk.
When you're on airplanes, when you're on vacations, have you noticed a material change in the way you're treated?
We'll see this weekend.
Okay.
When I'm out in the town, but I just think in general, obviously there were people mad about the size of the waffles. There were people saying, bro's complaining he gets paid to eat 40 waffles and all that type of shit. Those types of comments. Whatever, it's over. And I had all 40.
You don't have a message to the haters? It's just whatever?
No, because, listen, I appreciate everybody watching the show. I appreciate the family. I appreciate the people who hate my guts. But it's just, it happened. I ate 40. I didn't have to eat 40 because technically I only had to eat 38, and we ate 40. And Lucas is going to say, oh, well, what about the ones you puked up? I know what he's going to say. Put the hand down, Lucas. There was no stipulations. I puked 4 times. And some people would have puked and then said, I'm done.
Mm-hmm. The only
but
one,
we kept going.
The only one I might throw a challenge flag on was the liquid waffle.
Yeah.
Because there is an argument that you never actually gave a good faith attempt when you took the big swig and then you just immediately went like were you throwing it up or did you just put it in your mouth just to spit it into the trash can?
I was throwing it up because, and I said on the stream, I was like, I feel like I have to throw up now. And then once you guys made it, I looked at just the viscosity of it. I was like, there's a very good chance that there's a lump that's going to hit the back of my throat and it's going to trigger me to puke. I was already in a spot where I was going to puke, and then that happened. Yeah, it was disgusting.
Was my presence at the end of the stream a net positive or net negative?
Very, very much a net positive.
Was I a troll in your mind?
No, you weren't a troll. Because
I genuinely, when I came in, I was trying to lift the spirits, and right off the bat, we got off to a bad start. There were 4 waffles left that he had to eat. There were both 4 waffles left that he had to eat, and 4 waffles left in the bag of unnamed waffle brand that he was making.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was down to the exact number of waffles left, and that there were no backup waffles. So I walked in earlier in the stream around, waffle number 16. You tried to do a 1-bite waffle where you took the whole thing and stuffed it in your mouth.
And that even though I didn't successfully complete it, that set me back.
It was a horrible attempt.
Yeah.
He did this right before I had to go on the yak. So as my parting words were like, we got to do that over. Like, that was horrific. He was gagging on it. He's fucking taking multiple bites it was as bad of a 1-bite. I've seen a lot of 1-bite waffles in my time. It was the worst I've ever seen.
I don't have the throat for it.
So I had some oblos around here, I just shoot some things, took a meeting, whatever, and then all of my oblos were done, and I was like, I'm gonna focus solely on this waffle stream. And I come down from upstairs and I go into the room and I'm like, how many do we have left? Connor says I have 4 left, and I was like, I could see it in his eyes, he was dead. He needed some juice, and I was like, I'm gonna just do the one bite waffle for him, and I'm gonna get the whole room. In my head, I was like, the whole room is gonna give me a standing ovation. We're gonna fucking chest bump, and we're gonna just sprint this thing across the finish line. And I take the 1 waffle that's in the toaster, and I fold it up and just throw it in my mouth. Great 1-bite waffle. I killed it, if I can say so. And immediately Connor was like, "Why did you do that? That we needed that waffle." And
We
like the
did.
look on his
baby
face.
birded it or something.
Yeah, and that's what everyone said. They were like, baby bird it. So I offered to baby bird it, but then Connor's, I could sense some part of him is like, you did that on purpose to fuck with me. Because then the solution was like, now instead of eating the small unnamed waffle at the end, you have to make another big waffle with the iron. And then I offered to baby bird it, and then there was a sense that maybe I was trolling him about that. I genuinely wasn't. I was trying to lift the spirits, and I did the exact opposite thing, and I felt bad for that. But I also do think that we spiced it up towards the end.
Oh yeah,
we made it interesting.
And
we got it done.
The view count went up. People were way more engaged. We needed that at the end.
I don't say this often. It is an all-time fucking stream that you have to go back and watch if you missed. You have to. I think if you had plans this weekend, cancel them and go back and watch the Waffle stream if you missed it. It was some good shit, man.
The funny part was after that happened, Cody comes up to me, and it was one of the first things he said to me. He goes, dude, we got to do more stuff like that. It's like, that's what's going to take this channel. I was like, do you mean like eating 40 waffles? He's like, no, just like other videos. I was like, okay, like other streams, other long form marathon type things. But I was like, dude, that's not what I wanted to hear after I just got done eating 40 waffles and puked 4 times. We need to be doing more of that.
We need to do more of those marathon type streams.
He's been hanging out with Lucas too much.
There is a market for it at this company, especially for like for streams like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't no giving
Nobody
up.
really
Connor.
does it. Nobody really does that.
Yeah.
Nobody does streams like that.
But
How quickly do you think the three of us could have bowled a 300 if we had done it scramble? I think we could have done it in like 5 games.
I could do it. Yeah, I could do if we start now. I could do it before the yak.
Yeah, I think so.
I could do it before the yak starts. We could just do it right now.
Could I say thank you though to the people who stayed tuned in and watched and cheered me on, or Invite in particular had nothing but positive things to say.
Yeah, to the sickos and perverts that watched every second of that, thank you. It does mean a lot to us. And,
thanks for
don't
subscribing.
Take it for granted, and for the dozens of you who subscribed.
Yeah.
The millions.
The dozens of new subscribers we got out of the. Do we have a final number? Was it like
I don't know,
the ones
27 or something like that? Yeah, thank you. All right, I think you got something, Lucas.
Cody sent me a video. I haven't watched it. Do you want to watch that to close it out? Or
yeah, let's all watch this together. No context.
According to 0 new subscribers, according to our
just literally 0 new. Did we lose?
There's the analytics page.
You might have lost some.
Nothing to show for these dates.
All right.
We have literally 0 new subscribers from the Waffle stream.
Yeah, according to.
Do you think you should do it again?
No.
And this time, like.
Again, this was not like my like crown jewel. Like, oh yeah, this is gonna take most of
this.
This is just me paying a debt. Like, this was not supposed to be anything like bizarre. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
But I do think if we spent more time playing it, we could have.
No, stop.
We had it there. We just need another week.
We needed another week of meetings.
Give it to us.
Yeah, play the video. This will be the partying thing we do here on the show. This is no context video from Cody.
We're gonna get struck down for this. What is this? Yeah.
So you're gonna have to do that, Connor.
Yeah, that plays.
That's unbelievable.
We should do that as our next for 7 straight hours.
I'm just thinking back on the fuck you Brunson chants and the fuck you Draymond. Is that like a thing that's going on now?
It's just the whole everyone's got a potty mouth.
Fuck you.
People be fucking.
Dude, I hope a certain player on the A's doesn't get opposing fans fired up, Evo.
Yeah.
That would be bad. That would be really bad. I think Brandon's done parenting, and I think next week he'll be back for a full week. Yeah, we should have the whole crew back on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. If you're watching, you're listening, you're not subscribed. If you watch on YouTube, I'm gonna say this. We don't do this very often, but yeah, in light of Connor getting 0 subscribers, let me try to get some. If you're someone that watches on YouTube every single day, do us a favor and subscribe on a podcast platform, even if you don't listen. You want to listen to the podcast. If you're someone that listens, what are you zooming in on me for? This isn't that dramatic.
You're someone that listens on Spotify.
If you're someone who listens on Spotify or Apple or whatever else, and you're like, I'm a podcast guy, I don't want to watch a YouTube show, you could help us out and subscribe on YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? Like, clicking the subscribe button helps us. Lucas, jump scare.
He's not showing the camera, but he is frightened.
Either way helps us. Hit the subscribe button, like for the algorithm. Maybe leave a comment or two. All that stuff helps. Have a great weekend, everybody. We're going to the Cubs game, Cubs Phillies on Sunday. All right, we'll be back on Monday after that. See you guys then.
That's how ball is done.